I recently came across a comment on one of our videos, and it made a pretty remarkable claim that I want to warn our investors not to follow. I'm going to blur out the commenter here. My goal isn't to embarrass anybody, but it is to provide you with some accurate information. The comment said, I recommend a taxable account before an RRSP for lower than top tax bracket income people. Here is why. If you invest inside an RRSP when not in the top tax bracket, you will remove money from the RRSP in the top tax bracket, either emergency or in old age, losing the difference between saving taxes in a lower bracket but paying in the top bracket. So the argument is essentially this: be careful about putting money into an RRSP because you might get the tax deduction now while you're in a lower tax bracket, but eventually, when you retire, you're probably going to find yourself in the top tax bracket, either because you need to make a large emergency withdrawal or simply because you get older. And if that were true, it would be a very compelling argument against using an RRSP. But there is a huge flaw in that argument. Most Canadian retirees aren't anywhere remotely close to being in the top tax bracket now or when they retire. So you might ask yourself, how much income do older Canadians actually have? How many really have the kind of income required to reach Canada's highest tax bracket? Let's have a look. First, we should clarify what top tax bracket actually means. For 2026, the federal tax brackets start at 14% on the first $58,523 of taxable income. Then we move through the rates of 20.5%, 26%, and 29%. You don't reach the highest federal bracket, which is 33%, until taxable income exceeds $258,482. I'm emphasizing federal here because provincial taxes also are added on top of that. Every province has its own brackets. Just for way of an example, in British Columbia, the highest provincial tax rate in 2026 is 20.5%, and that doesn't begin until taxable income exceeds $265,545. So yes, for very high incomes, a BC resident could have a combined provincial and federal tax marginal rate above 50%. But there is an important word. This is marginal tax rate. We have here in Canada what's known as a progressive tax system. If you earn, let's say, $270,000, you're not going to pay the highest rate on the entire $270,000. Each portion of that income is taxed at the rate for that particular bracket. So we've established that. Let's look at what Canadian seniors actually earn, because this might dispel one of the myths that we heard earlier in the commenter. The CRA, it gives us pretty detailed information based on 2024 tax returns, including the number of taxpayers by age and federal tax bracket. Now, one qualification here is very important. The CRA data identify people by age, but not necessarily whether they're actually retired. So when we look at Canadians 65 and older, obviously some people will still be working. In fact, when you look at it, some of the highest income people in those age groups may still be earning some substantial employment or business income. But the CRA data does give us a pretty good picture of how unusual those upper tax brackets among Canadians actually are. Stat Canada also gives us another useful benchmark. In 2024, the median after-tax income of an unattached Canadian senior was $38,600. For senior families, where the highest income earner is 65 or older, the median was $83,200. So the main point here, the main takeaway is that the typical single Canadian senior is not living on $150,000, $250,000 a year. The median after-tax income is less than $40,000. Now, let's think about Canadian retirement income as a ladder. At the lower end, you've got people who may depend pretty heavily on these sources of income: Canada Pension Plan, old age security, possibly the guaranteed income supplement. Those are common at that lower tax bracket. Now, you move into the range of $40,000 to $50,000 a year, you're getting closer to what a typical individual retirement income looks like. You go to $50,000, $75,000, you may have your CPP, your OAS, that could be supplemented by a workplace pension, RRSP or RRIF withdrawals, or investment income. And once you've moved toward the $75,000 or $100,000 range individually, you're now moving considerably above the income that is typical of a Canadian senior. Around here, there's something that starts happening that you need to be aware of as well. You're getting into the OAS clawback territory. For the July 2026 through June 2027 payment period, the OAS recovery tax, that begins once your 2025 net world income exceeds $93,454. So think about that for a moment. You have reached a level now where the government essentially considers you to be a high enough income earner to start clawing back, start recovering some of your old age security. And yet, at that point, you're still more than $165,000 below the 2026 threshold for Canada's highest federal tax bracket. Now, what about $150K, $200,000? Now we're talking about a genuinely high income senior, someone who's receiving $150,000 taxable income every year, might have things like a pretty significant defined benefit pension plan, a very large RRSP or RIF, investment income, employment income, or probably a combination of some of those. Now you take that same person all the way up to $200,000 a year. They're doing extremely well when you say relative to the typical Canadian senior, and yet they're still not at Canada's highest federal tax bracket. You have to work your way all the way up to $258,482 before the 33% federal margin rate applies. As I noted above, that same concept applies to provincial taxes. So the idea that most Canadians simply grow old or eventually find themselves in the highest tax bracket just doesn't line up with the actual income numbers. Now, I will say there is a legitimate financial planning issue that's buried inside the commenter's argument. It's just not as obvious as he or she made sound. It is absolutely possible to contribute to an RRSP at one tax rate and eventually withdraw that money at a higher marginal tax rate. Suppose you're making RRSP contributions during your relatively low income working years. You could find out that your marginal tax rate in retirement is higher than the rate at which you originally received your RRSP deduction. And that, I think, is what the commenter was referring to. It's possible. That is a legitimate retirement planning issue. The mistake is going from this can happen to this happens to most retirees. Those are obviously very different claims. And the second version of that simply is not true. Now, one other thing before I move on here, there's another part of that comment that I just wanted to mention here for a moment. He asked, what if you suddenly need a very large withdrawal amount from your RRSP? That emergency comment that he talked about, could that push you into a higher tax bracket? The answer is absolutely, it could. If you withdraw money from an RRSP, it's taxable income. So if you take out a sufficient amount that could push portions of your income up through several of those tax brackets we looked at earlier, and that's one reason that probably you wouldn't want to have your entire emergency fund sitting inside an RRSP. Again, though, only the dollars falling within each of those brackets is taxed at that bracket's rate. So if you had an extraordinary withdrawal in 1 year, that's not the same as spending your retirement in the highest tax bracket. Now, if you're retired, you got $40,000, $50,000 of individual income, it's pretty easy to go online. Seeing some of the videos out there, you might get the impression that you are falling behind, right? You see people talking about $1 million RSPs, $100,000 retirement incomes, massive RIF balances that they're trying to grapple with, losing all of their OAS with that dreaded OAS clawback. Those are definitely legitimate issues for some people, but they're certainly not representative of every or even the average Canadian retiree for that matter. Remember, Stats Canada tells us the median unattached senior had $38,600 of after-tax income in 2024. Senior families had $83,200. So let's take this right back to where I started. Are most Canadians contributing to their RSP in a lower tax bracket and then eventually withdrawing the money in the highest tax bracket simply because they got older? Resoundingly, that is no. Could someone end up in that scenario? Absolutely. And for those people, there are strategies, things like earlier RSP withdrawals, pension splitting, TFSA contributions, managing the timing of your CPP, your OAS, those can all become important. But for the average person out there, the objective isn't necessarily to pay the least amount of tax this year, but think ahead, structure your retirement income so you can fund your retirement the way that you want while managing the amount of tax that you pay over your entire lifetime. So to our commenter, thanks so much for trying to help. You got your facts wrong, though. Once you look at what Canadian seniors actually earn, the idea that most of them spend their retirement in Canada's top tax bracket simply doesn't hold up. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.